Hi everybody, I'm Thomas Perry. Today I want to talk about playing the cajon. And this is your first time playing the cajon. Cool, if you've played for a while, some of these tips still might help you. I want to start by talking a little bit about how we actually hit the cajon and what the different techniques that I use. And then I'll start you off on a simple groove. Okay, so first of all, when I sit at the cajon, I'm leaning mine back a little bit because I like to have a nice straight back when I play. I don't like to be hunched over like this. If it's on the ground, then you got to kind of hunch over, which is kind of a drag. So I tilt mine back. I have little rubber feet on the bottom of mine, so it stops the cajon from sliding. If you don't, go to the hardware store, get you some little little rubber feet and screw them on the bottom there. Okay, so first off, let's just start by hitting the cajon a few times, right? What I want to do, I'm just going to take my hands like this, and I'm going to hit the cajon. I'm kind of resting my arms on my legs here as I do this. Now, I don't know if you can tell because of the camera, but what I'm doing is when I hit the drum, I'm hitting it, but then I'm letting my hand come back off the drum just a little bit. I'm not really pulling it off, but when I hit it, I want it to be just like that over the surface. The reason being is I want to bring some tone out of the instrument. It's very easy to pull tone out of a drum. It has a natural resonance and it kind of just rings. The cajon does resonate, and it just takes a little more work. Anything you do to like kill the vibration will instantly squash like any tone. So here's an example. If I hit this open, I hear a boom, boom. Now if I leave my hand on it, instantly stops that. So I right now want to bring out some tone. What I'm doing when I'm hitting is, if you look at my hand right here, it's kind of bent backwards, and this is the farthest point, right? This part of my hand right here. What I'm doing when I'm hitting is I'm actually hyperextending my hand like that, and I'm hitting the middle, and I'm going to call this the bass. So the bass part of it. So I want you to start getting the right hand and just da right on the head like that. And then make sure that you're not leaving it on the head, but it's coming right back off it. All right? That's going to give us a nice clean bass tone when we're playing. That way it'll ring out. So a lot of the stuff that I'm going to show you today is relative to playing the drum kit, right? So the bass drum, that's what I mean by the bass, is I'm emulating a bass drum with that. Okay, so now we have this one. I want to employ a different spot of the cajon, and that's the corner. Now on my cajon, the corner's not screwed in. It's open. So it gives this nice like slap sound. What I'm using for the slap sound is I'm using my 3 fingers, and I'm coming at it kind of sideways like this. That gives me a nice clean snare tone. So now what I want to do is I want to practice going back and forth between our bass and our snare up here, right? So now I want to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And really make sure you're getting the right movements in. We're using this for the bass, and we're using that 3-finger slap on the corner for the snare drum. Okay, so now you can take that and play with another musician. You know, if somebody's a guitar player, a piano player, whatever. Most things you can get away with just being like, but it's like really boring. If you play that through a song, I guarantee you get bored really fast. Also, there's some space in there, which sometimes can be very nice, but what if we wanted to add some texture in between? So if I was playing a drum kit and I was playing a beat, I would go like, that same beat, it would be equivalent to boom, tat, boom, tat. But I'm missing something in between. I'm missing chat, chat. So I'm missing that hi-hat or cymbal. What I want to do now is I want to add that to our beat. Only with our left hand still, or our right hand, sorry. So watch this. So I'm going to start here, 1, and then I'm going to take my the pads of my finger right there, and I'm going to hit in between the bass and the snare. So exactly in the middle of that is where I want to put the pads of my finger, like that. So we're going to go 1 and 2, right? So let's practice that. 1 and 2. 1 and 2. All right, 3 different techniques. After we play 2, I want to come back down on the and here again, and then I want to go back down to the bass on 3. So the whole motion is going to go 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. This creates a little bit of texture between our notes and now sounds more legit, like I'm playing a drum kit. So if I just... Okay, so we've got that. Let's mess with the bass drum just a little bit. What if I wanted a beat that sounded like boom, tot, boom, boom, tot? Well, boom, tot, boom, boom, tot. Now, again, you could sit here and play this, right, over and over again with whoever you're playing with. But let's add some texture. So let's put those eighth notes on the ands right in the middle with the exception of the and of 3. Because we're going to go 1 and 2 and 3 and then I'm going to go straight to the snare. 4 and 1. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Okay, same applies for any other bass drum hits that you want to put in there. We would kind of treat them the same. Take maybe this out wherever the bass is. So that's 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. So to be able to really clearly have a bass, a snare, and then our little middle section in there. Okay. So we have that. That's our grooves based on eighth notes. What if I wanted to take the texture one step further? Let's play some 16th notes. Now we're going to use our left hand, and we're going to leave the fleshy part of our hand just on the drum, and all I'm going to do is just tap the drum with my pads right here, and I'm going to do all of the E's and the U's. So let's go back to the basic groove. So we've got 1 E and 2 E. So you see my right hand is still moving from the bass to the snare. And my left hand is just hitting really, really lightly, right? We want to add texture. We don't want... That doesn't sound good. So, want to hear the bass, want to hear the snare, keep the texture low. So, 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and 1 E and 2 E and... Okay, so now that's another groove we can work with, and just like the other grooves, we can start messing with the bass drums. 1 and 2 and I'd like to point out if I stop my left hand, my right hand is still doing the same thing we were working on before. I just add the contra. Okay, so there's some simple grooves to get started with on the cajon. There are plenty of other techniques and plenty of other things to learn. Later on we can work on rolls and different things I can do on my left hand. If you watch my left hand, it kind of hops around. Each one of those movements is designed to give me a different tone, something that I'm looking for, something that makes it more interesting. In the beginning, when you guys are working on this, keep everything real simple. Keep everything light. Don't hit too hard. It's real easy to just overplay and overwork. That tone comes out of your fingertips and your hands. It doesn't come out through muscle. Anything else? You know, I would say play with some music. Make sure that start with something, some really simple songs. Pop songs are great because they're so simple. There's not a lot of changes to it. And you can start playing along with pop songs or whatever and start using these techniques and get them part of your repertoire. Get them into your bones, into your hands, so that when you play, you don't have to think about this stuff. Thanks a lot. I will hopefully send more videos. And if you have any questions, my email address is thinkwithmysticks.com. And let me know if you have any questions or you'd like more. All right. Thank you. Bye.